So we're back today with my boxwood. At the end of the last video, I gave it a bit of wire to give it initial shaping. This is it in July. It's looking okay. The sandy stuff is just fishbone fertilizer. These trees grow really slowly, but you can see there's plenty of new growth and emerging buds. I've read you can plant them in the ground and after 30 years the trunk will still be less than an inch. So it's very slow. Although I wired it out, it's still very 2D. It's very flat. If you see here from above, well, firstly it's at a weird angle on the pot, but that's fine. But it only really grows up and down the screen, not left to right. These wee bits I'm pulling on, I need them to grow out, and then the structure will be a lot more 3D, and when you look at it from above it'll be very round and full. My general plan is to style this like a big old tree you would see in a farmer's field. It's big and full and growing in all directions. I was hoping to wire these side branches down during the summer, but it's so slow growing it didn't quite get long enough. So in January it was just chilling. You can see I was still testing to see if I could bring those branches down, but no, not yet. They're still too small and undeveloped. In February I started cleaning it out to get it ready for spring. Boxwood are evergreen and they also get a bit bushy, so it's good to go in and clean out the interior structure every now and again. I found a bit of branch that snapped off somehow on the floor, but I can use it to explain what I'm doing. You can see the two big old leaves at the bottom and then two puffs of leaves coming from them. Also a half old dead leaf in the middle there. I cleaned it up by removing the older bigger leaves and any leaves that were on the older browner wood. So now you can see the structure's a bit better. It would help if I could hold my bloody hand still. But you can hopefully see that these puffs of foliage were actually 2 or 3 sub branches. You can basically start to see the ramification now. Sometimes you find bits like this, where there's 3 or 4 branches in the same spot. You just need to cut these back to 2 and everything will be fine. It looks better and also stops any little knuckles of inverse taper forming. I'm only doing this cleanup, I'm not cutting back or anything. I will let everything extend in spring and then cut the new growth back. It's quite time consuming and a little boring doing these types of tasks, but I love it. I love revealing the structure and seeing all the subdivisions I've created. If you're not really into doing stuff like this probably isn't a hobby for you. But it is this repetition of these little tasks over like 10 years that will really separate this from being a small hedge plant to being an incredible looking tree. It's all thinned out now and ready to grow. Hopefully this year I can get enough length to pull those branches down. It's been in this pot for 2, maybe 3 years now, so it's definitely time to have a look at the roots. I may as well keep some of this moss though, as it's pretty decent. If you haven't seen box roots before, you're in for a treat. First I need to remove this cutting that you probably noticed is slowly dying in the corner of the pot. Well, it's dead, so it can go. Box has these really strong roots. I was able to remove all the soil with my hands. No need for the fork today. That was partly because I have good loose soil, but also because the roots are awesome. This tree had a good example of what a flat root plane should be like. If you look at the right hand side of the trunk, there's a few cheeky high roots going up the side of the trunk. We don't want that. We want them all growing out the same height. We want them all growing out at the bottom. So they have to go. You can see now the trunk is clean, apart from the root plane at the bottom. I also took it back hard. but Box loves it. It's also nice and flat at the bottom. It looks a bit much, but it's totally fine. And I'll set it up nicely going forward. I also don't want to put it back in that plastic pot. I have this pot spare. It's not perfect for it, but it's okay. I've kind of come to terms with the fact that I'll never get this to thicken up, so I may as well just put it in anything that's slightly nicer looking and just focus on trying to get the canopy I'm after. You can really see when it's thinned out just how 2D it is, but time will sort that out. The tree is full of buds, so that's always a good sign. The buds are really starting to swell here. I feel the tree has taken a few steps back, but I know it's about to leap forward. In May, the buds were extending nicely. Still too short to wire down now, but its time will come. In a few weeks, I'll cut it back and thin it out again, and then there should be a good second flush of growth during the summer. Thanks for watching. See you next time.